On TalkSport 2. How you doing, Henry?
Yeah, would have been better if they'd played a bit better earlier.
Well, I'm sure it would. He actually said, Pellegrini, we discussed it earlier, he said afterwards there was a lack of desire among the players. Would you agree with that?
It's hard to sort of think because it's been going on for the last few games since we lost to Oxford, really. The build-up play is so slow, so it's hard to see the players actually trying, if you know what I mean, because it all looks very relaxed. There's a lot of times that Anderson might get on the ball and you think he's going to sprint at it, but he's sort of a jog. So it's sort of hard to gauge whether they've been told to have a slow build-up play or if they're not listening to Pellegrini.
Well, Henry, you've been through some managers now since you've been in that new stadium. How can nobody get it right? You've spent fortunes.
Yeah, I know. It's laughable, really, the amount of money we spent in the last 2 years, especially on Anderson and Haller. That's 90 million quid, pretty much.
So what's the problem?
There's always been a...
I mean, can they not play? Is the stadium is it too big for them? Did they get nervous playing in front of the West Ham supporters? You know, are they just going to West Ham because they want to get a move to somewhere else and maybe try and get a move to one of the top 6 sides? And when things go wrong for them, they just start underachieving as individual players. Did they play as individual players? Because, you know, we're talking about an experienced manager in charge there. Adrian just mentioned there, he was talking about desire. He actually said in that interview, you can't win a Premier League by playing good for 5 minutes. No, football's 90 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's a stadium. I think there's this theory about it. Obviously, it's not the same as the bowling, but we've played games.
Yeah, but you didn't do great there either, did you?
No, we didn't do great there, but the expectation was lower because they hadn't moved everyone out of their spiritual home.
I get that. It's a great point, actually. Do you look at the manager, though? Is Pellegrini the problem, or is there something else that we're missing?
What I'd have thought today was probably the selection choice that he made and only he can make was quite bizarre, of putting Pablo Zabaleta, a 34-year-old right back who's never been blessed with pace, up against one of the fastest wingers in the league of Alan St-Maximin.
Extraordinary.
And then the whole game he struggled, and then he changed him for Fredericks, and we did look better as soon as that move was done.
Extraordinary. Just a quick final one because we're running out of time. I want to ask you about Mark Noble as well, because obviously you were 2-0 down at half-time. Things had to change. He came off at half-time, Mark Noble. Was it purely a tactical thing, or is there now a feeling that Mark has been brilliant for West Ham and he's loved by the West Ham fans, but actually if they want to get to where they want to be, which is top 6 or better, then maybe Mark's just not going to be part of it?
We've needed to sign a new central midfielder for the last 3 years, since Declan Rice has come into play next to him as a box-to-box. But as 2-0 down at half-time, we needed to make an attacking change. And Mark Noble is probably the one you take out to keep Declan at the holding midfield. Snodgrass can do a job going forward. Noble's that one that will have to drop out for Lanzini to add the creativity that Noble doesn't have.
Yeah, it could be writing on the wall. We'll see. Listen, Henry, great to talk to you. Thank you very much for joining us on TalkSport 2. How you doing, Henry?
Yeah, would have been better if they'd